It's time for your NMTC Company Highlight. I'm Nika Allen, and today we are at IDEUM interviewing Jim Spadaccini, who is the founder, CEO, and creative director at IDEUM. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for letting us come kind of intrude your space today. They have a great setup here, actually made for filming, so it's very exciting to us. So I'm not sure that everyone on our NMTC mailing list really knows what IDEUM is. Could you talk to us just the basics of what you guys do?
Sure. Well, IDEUM creates hardware and software. We're mostly focused on creating experiences around public spaces. And we do a lot of things with large screens, so multi-touch tables, touch walls, and we're starting to get more and more into kind of immersive environments as well.
Great. There's a lot of touchscreen tables around me and television sets, and so I'm really excited to learn more and maybe get a tour of the actual technology later in our interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So I think that you have a pretty interesting story of how you actually came up with the idea for IDEUM and how it started. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, I worked at the Exploratorium in San Francisco. I was a director of interactive media. And I loved working at the Exploratorium, but after about 5 years there, I decided that I wanted to try something else. I wanted to try to get involved a little more on the exhibit side, which sounds kind of funny, but at the Exploratorium, we had a very successful website, and I was the person who was mostly in charge of it. Nobody's ever in charge of absolutely everything at the Exploratorium. It's that kind of a place. But you know, so then we started the company, and the idea was we wanted to explore different topics. We also wanted to explore other emerging technology. We're very interested in the user or visitor experience. And what's interesting is, you know, a lot of our work's been with museums, and we were still working with some great museums all over the country. But we're also starting to work with some big names in retail. We're working with Starbucks. Wow. And one of the things that we're trying to do is we're trying to shape a new visitor experience to a Starbucks restaurant or Starbucks cafe. And you know, that's I think one of the most exciting things about the field that we're in right now is public spaces are really beginning to see. Folks are starting to see them as places where people can start to interact. And what we've done is we're working with a small group within Starbucks on prototypes. So they're really looking at, can we create some kind of experience of the future? And those are the kind of projects we love, because we're at the moment we're really trying to push where our hardware and software interact, and we're trying to use new technologies to extend the sort of touch table experience. So one of the things we're doing with Starbucks is we have these interactive coasters, so you can put a coffee down on the table and you can learn about where that coffee's from, and that's sort of adding a new dimension to that whole experience.
And so are you guys making every piece of that? You make the hardware, do you make the coasters too and the software?
We do. I mean, we have, we integrate a lot of other people's technologies. So we design the tables, we design all the hardware, they're all built, and we like to say they're handcrafted in Corrales, New Mexico, and they are.
Yeah.
And we build them here. And then as far as the coasters, we design them and then we 3D print them at this stage.
Wow. And the company in Corrales is growing, isn't it? You have more than one kind of facility almost now. You're in different buildings, and you have, it seems like, quite a few employees.
Yeah, we have 3 buildings. There's 20,000 square feet. We've got about 45 employees now. And what's really great is we're all in the same, we're all together, both folks who make hardware and software and designers. And content people, so we can really bring all these pieces to bear when we create a visitor, some kind of new experience for visitors.
Very cool. So you guys joined NMTC relatively recently, I think within the last year or so. And what really compelled you to be an NMTC member?
Well, one of the things we've been trying to do recently is be a little more involved in the community. I think it might be easier for a company downtown or somewhere kind of right in Albuquerque to have that connection. We're a little bit out of the way, but also I think some of it is that the company has finally gotten to a point where it's a little less manic around here. I mean, things are still happening at a pretty rapid pace.
It's not like startup mode though, where every day is a disaster.
Well, and frankly, I mean, when we were doing the hardware, we were kind of starting from scratch, and we did not have a lot of experience in hardware. So we learned a lot of very tough mistakes along the way. We've been learning from those. We continue to have those, but maybe not at the same rate, which is nice.
And so why do you keep your company in New Mexico? I really love to see kind of homegrown New Mexican companies and people that say, we're going to keep this company in New Mexico. We don't really want to leave.
Yeah, I love New Mexico. My wife Angela and I came out here to work on a project more than 10 years ago now, and we kind of fell in love with New Mexico. Wanted to live here, and so when we moved here, there wasn't really a question of, oh yeah, we're going to grow a company and then move to California or something. We've done that. Yeah. So we're much happier here. We're happy to be here.
So I mean, there's so much technology around me right now. Can we check it out and see what you have?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Jim, thank you so much for walking me around this beautiful space today, spending some time talking with me, letting me use your staff as our crew for the afternoon. We've really appreciated it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. We will be back next month with a new NMTC company highlight.